Welcome back to Ambitious, Awakened, and Aligned, the gathering place for leaders who are ready to rise with resonance instead of hustle, presence instead of pressure, and a deeper remembering of who you truly are. Today's conversation is one I believe our whole community needs because so many high performing, big hearted, impact driven humans are quietly navigating a world that feels like chaos on the outside while slowly crumbling on the inside, and to guide us into a new possibility, one rooted in calm, clarity, and alignment with true self leadership. We're joined by the incredible Ashlee Livingstone, founder of Ashlee Livingstone Coaching, where personal growth and breath work come together, as she's a personal growth coach and a breathwork facilitator. Ashlee is the breath behind so many women finally finding their way back to themselves. She helps driven women, maybe a few of us around here, who look like they've got it all together, to actually reclaim their calm, their clarity, and their control without burning it all down. In this conversation, we're exploring the truth behind chronic stress, burnout patterns, and the myth that you need to break in order to take a break. Ooh, that's one that it just resonates so deeply. We don't have to break down to take a break. We'll talk about why calm is actually the most powerful frequency for creativity, leadership, and impact, and how one breath can change everything. This is going to be a deep one, a grounding one, and a remembering. So, wherever you are, take a breath. Let's begin. Here's Ashlee. Welcome, Ashlee.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
So excited to have you here. I was just joking. We get into these amazing conversations before we press record on the podcast, and often I'm like, "Oh, we should have had that going because we just had the best little back and forth." So we're not doing that. We're going straight to record so that we can capture
And
all
we're
the
still gonna
magic that
forget it.
I know, all the magic that Ashlee has to share. I had the incredible opportunity of meeting Ashlee. Oh, geez, I'm gonna say about 9 months ago now, where she was on the stage at an incredible event, and she was leading the whole audience through this breathwork practice. And when you meet someone or you experience, because I hadn't met you yet, you experience someone in their genius zone, and it impacts you in such a powerful way. And what I really was in awe of that day was how much you co-regulated that room into a place of beautiful energy. So I just wanted to reflect that to you today is and we're going to share some of your gifts and sort of why I would have experienced that. But before we go anywhere, one of the things that I notice in my business is we don't even land when we start something. We just, like, start, and I
Mm.
just did it again. And so I'm curious how you are arriving today in your body, your breath, your energy, and teach us how we would do that moving forward. Actually really be aware of where we're landing somewhere.
So as you were asking me that, I was like, "Oh, I need to take a deep breath." So that's always how I start to land.
Mhm.
First and foremost is that give yourself that second to just breathe. And anyone listening right now, you can almost just do that with us, like in through your nose and then back out through your nose. That's how I land 99% of the time because you're right. We're always like flying from one thing to the next. And so today I'm showing up here. I'm actually feeling very energized. Before we hit record, I was telling you I had just wrapped up a corporate workshop. We have 50 people. The topic was finding your calm in the chaos. And it was such a good conversation. And it's such a good reminder about how important this is.
Hmm.
Like how important it is to know that we actually have the control to create our own calm while there is chaos going on all around us.
Mm-hmm.
Because it can feel often like that's not the case. And then we do just kinda like we ride the wave of the chaos that everyone else is riding,
Hmm.
and we can just feel like we're part of it, and it can be hard to find that separateness to land.
Hmm.
So, it was a really cool conversation that we had for an hour with these mostly women,
Hmm.
about ways to calm ourselves down, ways to be grounded so that we don't get swept away in the constant chaos that's around us.
Oh, this is so powerful. We're going to dive in. Before we dive into the actual content of that, I am curious, and we may not have the answer on this podcast, but I work with both men and women inside corporate organizations. And yet, a lot of the content I put out to the world, like this podcast, is specifically for women. And a big part of that is because I am finding in today's environment that women are hungry and ready and maybe confused and not really sure where to turn and where to start, but
Mhm.
they're seeking. They're in this seeking mode. And so it's interesting that you had over 50 people in a room, and you had said before we jumped on that about 98% of that room was women, corporate
Yeah,
women. And my husband is a leader of an organization, and I've got sons that I'm raising. I believe you do too, right?
I do too, yeah.
Yes. And so, and I come from a family with two brothers who are in leadership. And so the men that I know, and probably part of why I am who I am is my father's perspective on that as well, are we're hungry and we're seeking and we're open. And yet everywhere I go, it's women that are in the room.
Mhm.
What do you have any perspective on even how we can start how we can start shifting that men are seeking and making it safe, or is it just women are in a different place?
Okay, there's a lot there. So let me just like I'm gonna land on that. And I think part of it is women understand subconsciously, I think, that what we're doing right now isn't sustainable.
Mm,
So we want the passionate career, whether that's in entrepreneurship or corporately. We want something outside of us and we're driven towards that, whatever that may look like. And we also want to raise children potentially and have a loving partnership and have a social life. Like we want a well-rounded life. Unfortunately, I think we have been giving 100% everywhere, which isn't sustainable.
mhm,
And we're starting to see more and more women burning out.
mm,
And when if you are someone who describes themselves almost as the glue, right?
mm,
A lot of women will describe themselves as the glue that holds everything together. When you burn out, so much falls.
mm,
All of the cracks are exposed. And I think women are seeking more support around how do I regulate myself? How do I enjoy my career and raise my children and have a healthy marriage without losing myself?
mm,
I think women are asking ourselves these questions. I'm in women's business groups, and those are the types of conversations we're having.
mhm,
I'm not privy to a ton of groups with male leaders.
mhm,
I think if they started to ask themselves those types of questions of like, where can I participate more or where do I need to pull back? What am I doing that isn't sustainable? Right? That's when we start to seek a bit more. And I have brother-in-laws and men in my world where I see them carrying a lot,
Mhm. Mhm.
but they kind of put their heads down and just keep going
Mhm.
until we kind of get that peak of like, okay, this isn't sustainable. What needs to shift?
Mhm. Yeah, and it's interesting and just a slight aside and then we'll go back to the high performing women because that's what we're here for.
Mhm.
I do believe we're raising a more conscious, open generation of young men
Yeah.
because we started to change the conversation. So I know my husband and I have had lots of discussions around. I think men are seeking that same harmony
Mhm.
and a little bit confused about what feels like burnout and how to
Yeah.
and we have started to create lots of beautiful communities for women, and so hopefully they'll find their way into that as well. And I do believe that we're changing the story around it because I think, pride and ego and masculine type of qualities have created a story around that as well. And I think as we become more conscious and harmonious as women, we'll help change that story too. So,
Yeah.
we'll keep doing our work. So when we do look at high performing women, one of the things, that I've really noticed, and I know in your work this is huge, is that people look fine on the outside. They actually
Mhm.
look fine, and in fact, if you're like, "How are you doing?" "I'm fine," became this beautiful we were talking about Mel Robbins before we popped on too,
Yeah.
and I remember that was one of the I think it was her TED Talk that I listened to of the four-letter FINE word,
Yeah.
and that so resonated, and I think that's like a 20-year-old body of work now, 15, 20-year-old body of work, and yet still resonates that we say we're fine and we're unraveling on the inside. So, what do you see happening in our culture? You talked a little bit about it, but take us a little further on what's
Mhm.
creating this chronic sort of chaos or unraveling?
Yeah, I think it's actually the fear of letting people down.
Mm.
Whether again, rationally, I can talk to women and they'll deny that. Like, "Oh, I don't
Mm.
care. It's okay." I
Mm.
understand that that's not true, but internally, it's this fear of letting people down, letting your job down, letting your kids down, letting your partner down, letting yourself down, letting your friends down, letting your in-laws down. It's like saying no is letting someone down, or making a mistake is
Mhm.
letting someone down. Asking someone for help means like, "Oh, I'm putting them out."
Mm.
So we just keep accumulating more and more, and we stuff it down in ourselves so that we are numbing and we don't even realize anymore that we're just fine
Mm.
because it becomes our new normal.
Mhm. What
And
does
yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, what does that chaos start to look like when someone comes to you and they're in this state of chaos and they're not able to communicate that they might be in this state of chaos because everything's fine? How do you get them to sort of connect with that? What physical, emotional, nervous system type of experiences might they be having?
Yeah. A lot of it, I always ask people, "How are you sleeping?
Mm.
What do your nights look like?"
Mhm.
And a lot of women will laugh at me and be like, "Oh, what's sleep? Who needs
Yes.
sleep?" That like passive little joke that
Yeah.
we say, but really sleep is a key foundation. If we're not sleeping, a lot of women will be exhausted and really like have this, I can't wait to go to bed at night.
Mm.
And then they go to bed and they can't sleep because their brain just all of a sudden starts downloading, replaying every encounter throughout the day. Right? Did I do that right? Oh my gosh, what are they thinking? How come they didn't write me back? Right? Like, did I say something wrong?
Mhm.
Replaying, what happened with the kids, what you have to prepare for the next day. And we just start running the to do lists and the did I do enough list
Mhm.
through our heads so that our anxiety rises, our cortisol rises,
Mhm.
and now we're wide awake. We're
Mhm.
restless and we're wide awake. And then we're frustrated. So definitely, I see it showing up in disrupted sleep patterns.
Mhm.
And then the frustration of, well, now I can't get up in the morning,
Mhm.
right? So we're waking up and we had plans to maybe get our workout in, but we're exhausted because we didn't sleep the night before. So we skip our workout and now we're frustrated at ourselves. And then the kids are waking us up. Or maybe it's like for me, often it's the dog waking me up and we're automatically on and we're automatically needed,
Mm.
right? Like that somebody needs us
Mhm.
first thing in the morning and the demands just begin. So
Mhm.
then we become a bit irritable. Maybe we're snapping at our kids when we've kind of said to ourselves, I'm not going to snap at my kids anymore. And then we're running late. And the morning just, I see so many women whose mornings become this whirlwind of like, how do we get out of the door and not be late?
Mhm.
And I even see it because I walk my son to school every day. This is the last year I get to do it because he's heading to high school next year. So I walk him to school every day and I can just see it in the cars
Mhm.
flying down the road,
Mhm.
blowing the stop signs, wheeling up to the school. And it's like everyone gets out and then mom is off to work.
Yeah.
Already chaotic.
Already chaotic. Yeah, already unconscious as well, right?
For
And
sure.
I can speak to that because I was that. I
Mm,
remember wearing not sleeping like a badge of honor.
yeah.
Like, I got 3 hours last night, like it was some heroic biscuit or something that and meanwhile and because I come from a corporate background, and so, for our corporate clients that we work with, it was a badge of honor. The more you worked and the less you slept and the less you looked after yourself and the more you just kept pushing, it was this badge of honor.
Yeah.
Just so backwards to
Well, it's like the more you sacrifice,
Mhm.
the more you have proven yourself.
And yet, really, if you look at your quality of work and connections,
Mhm.
relationships, productivity, all of it diminishes. It's such a misperception, that's what makes me crazy.
Yeah.
And it seems like somebody has to hit burnout, real burnout, before they actually go, "Okay, hang on here, something is disconnected, something is off." So even the signs that you've talked about, we ignore them until it's too late.
Yeah.
How can we stop doing that? How can we recognize the signs?
Yeah, I always say that, like, I wish I could get people before they burn out
Yeah.
because the path to recovering from burnout is not easy. It really burnout is and can be really debilitating, and it can be a long journey back.
Mhm.
And so, for the women out there who are thinking, "Yeah, I can't take a break," or "I can't shut my computer down before 2 a.m., or "I can't go to bed," I promise you, when you burn out, like, you won't have a choice.
Yeah.
And I know, like, as an independent high achiever on my own accord, not having a choice is
Mhm.
the worst feeling. That is way worse than anything else,
Mhm. Mhm.
right? Like, it's the simple things even when you're just like, "Oh, Can you load the dishwasher? I'm like, please don't tell me I have to load the dishwasher. I know to load the dishwasher. I will choose to load the dishwasher. It's like I have to have a choice. That is like
Yeah.
so meaningful to me. And I think it is for a lot of women, especially our high achievers, because we want that control over ourselves.
Mhm.
So if you can hear these warning signs and say to yourself, what is something I can do to shift before I hit rock bottom and have to rebuild everything?
Mhm.
Because most of our lives cannot sustain us burning out. And that to me is scarier than,
Mhm.
making some small shifts to right the ship before it sinks.
Yeah.
So a lot of times I will start with asking people about their sleep. I think sleep is such an important place to start of like how do we almost like rebuild or create a sleep routine for ourselves,
Mhm.
right? Like where can you start to increase the quality and the length of your sleep?
Mhm.
Because once you start sleeping, you start realizing how much more energy
Mhm.
you have for the next day, right? Your patience starts to increase. You can all of a sudden make it through the day without needing to chug coffee,
Mhm.
right? And it gives you even that much more of a shift of, okay, maybe I can actually build in some time to go for that walk,
Mhm.
right? Because I'm not so exhausted.
Mhm.
Like I really think sleep is such a key starting point.
And your creativity is so different. And really, we all need creativity to actually stand out. It's our creative muscle and that I'm not talking creativity even from the perspective of like art or anything. I'm
Right.
talking the creative ways you think and the creative ways you use your voice and the creative ways you show up.
Yeah.
That all
Problem
flows
solve.
from energy and frequency, problem solve. Exactly. And so when we don't have that energy, our frequency is low, our creativity is not available, all of it. So, yeah, I love that sort of start with sleep. When you were talking earlier too, I was thinking about the morning routine. For
Mm,
me, that has been a lifesaver. I used to jump out of bed and think about who needs me. You just described it. Who needs me? Even children, family, all of that, of course, and then beyond that, thinking about my clients, like,
mhm.
who are the top 3 people that might need me to send them a quick message this morning and just do a check-in, and how do I do that? And, the brain is just going so fast the second I'd be out of bed.
Yeah.
And then I somewhere along the way, flipped that routine to being about what might Lori need for fuel to
Mhm.
ensure that she can be her best self for everybody else in the morning. And so my morning rituals are, to me, the saving grace of everything else that unfolds in the day. And
Yeah.
so I think I loved that you said people jump out of bed thinking women jump out of bed thinking about who needs me. It's
Yeah.
so true. It's like we're hardwired that way.
Yeah, and I understand that it can be really hard and
Mhm.
uncomfortable to change that.
Mhm.
I remember when my first coach told me to have a morning routine, I
Mhm.
thought she was crazy. I was like,
Have you
"Girl."
seen my mornings?
I was like, I actually the challenge I had was, why would I, when I'm already not getting enough sleep, that's a
Mm,
key point, why would I sacrifice more sleep? Like it
mm,
it didn't compute in my head. And I was like, why would I purposely get less sleep?
mm,
And that's why I often say it starts with sleep because, oh, okay, well, she wasn't asking me to radically change my life. It
mm,
did, but it was like 15 minutes. Can I go to bed 15 minutes earlier? Yeah, that's pretty simple. And so I started my morning routine by just getting up 15 minutes before my son would get up. And he was like on such a good sleep schedule when he was younger, and now he's a teenager and I can't wake him up. So
exactly.
I have a different problem on my hands. But it was like I knew he woke up at 7 a.m. on the dot every day. So I started by getting up at 6:45.
Mhm.
That was it. 6:45, and I would journal because that was new to me too,
Mhm.
and I would just sit there. Sometimes I would just sit there and be like, "I don't know what to do,
Mm.
but this is my time. Nobody's asking me anything. Nobody's demanding anything. It's 15 minutes of silence for me."
Mhm.
And now my morning routine is significantly different,
Mhm.
and I've got to have different iterations over time,
Mhm.
but you're right, like, that has been such a game changer.
Mhm.
But it can't happen if I don't sleep the night before.
Right. Yeah. No, that makes total sense. One of your core messages, and you talked about this at the beginning, is calm is where we create our best work from.
Mm.
And so that I think is such a great summary of this conversation we're having. And so where does this calm amplify leadership, clarity, impact? Where does that come in? Because in the corporate business circles, this is not a word that we use very often. So help us
Or we
figure
use
out
it
how we could.
ironically. Or I hear people say it sarcastically,
Yes.
passive aggressively. Um, yes. So let's chat about calm and really my method that I use for people. I believe that before you can have clarity, before you can have your best focused work, you need to be able to get yourself to a place of calm,
Mm,
even if that's just a moment. I've worked with a couple of clients who the first time I did breath work with them, their eyes opened after and they're like, I don't think I've ever felt that.
mhm,
And it was 5 minutes.
mm,
Right? I'm not talking an hour here or a spa day. It's like 5 minutes of conscious breath or journaling or putting your feet in the ground or just going outside for a walk without your phone and just letting yourself go from up here
mm,
to back down here. Right? Your nervous system is constantly likely stuck in your sympathetic and your fight or flight, even broaching into overwhelm.
mm,
When we can get it down into our parasympathetic, which is where we're resting, it's like our safety space, that allows us finally, once we're calm, to then get clarity.
mm,
When we are in chaos, a lot of people will say to me, "Oh, I do great work under pressure."
mm,
Maybe,
mhm,
but you do your best clarity. You know exactly where you need to go, your exact next step when you're calm.
mhm. I think it's another one of these misperceptions that if we're calm, if we're in flow, if we allow ease, then we're somehow lazy, unproductive, not a top performer.
Mm.
It's like this choice we've made that the more frantic, the more successful, and yet we've created such an imbalance
Yeah.
in health and wellness, in connection, and so, like, it's so harmful. We can see all the ways it's so harmful. But how do we get people to shift this? Like, what's the chaos to calm sort of path that you witness people can actually have an appetite for?
Yeah, and so for me, it is understanding that there is a lot we cannot control,
Mm. So
right?
much.
So much, and I say that as a gift, not an added stressor, because we want to control it all.
Mhm.
Makes us feel safe.
Ooh, so safe.
And the truth is, you're just fooling yourself because you can't actually control. You can't control other people. You can't control their emotions. You can't control their timelines. You can't. But we spend so much time focusing there. What
Mm,
I ask people to do instead is shift to that inner circle of
mhm,
what you 100% have control over,
mm,
which is you, your choices, your habits, your boundaries, your responses.
mm,
You have control over how you show up, the words you speak, the way you treat people. That's all you, right? I say it to my son all the time, your attitude and effort are 100% you.
mhm, mhm,
And when we can be in chaos and understand, okay, I have a busy week. I have a full week. What can I do to support myself through this week?
mm,
Maybe I need to double down on sleep. Maybe I need to make sure that building in my movement so I don't have my pent up energy. Maybe I need to pre make my lunches for the whole week because if I don't eat, I'm a bear.
mhm, mhm,
It's like I can't control that all the deadlines happened at the same time. I
mhm,
can't control that it's year end and it's the holidays and everything's happening all at once. I can't control that, but I can control myself.
mhm,
So that first shift for people is asking yourself, what can you control here?
mm,
Start there. And then that's when I ask people to find one. And for our ambitious women out there, you're like, one isn't
1.5?
enough. Can I do
1.5.
two? Yeah.
Give me 1.5, Ashley.
I'm not your average woman. I can do three. One, please.
Please.
Because please, your system is already wound.
Mhm,
And if you try to do too much, you will not be able to sustain it.
mhm,
It'll be another thing you're holding and it'll feel overwhelming.
mm,
So I ask for one technique that will help you create more calm for yourself. So
mhm,
whether that's 5 minutes of breathing a day, if you can commit to a walk outside every day, maybe for you, it's going to be building in micro breaks, like not having your meetings back to back, or drinking your water, eating your food. Like, what is one thing that you can build in that's going to help you feel even 1% more calm?
mhm.
And once you have that down, then you can add the next thing.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Oh, it's so powerful. And I think part of it is that we have this unconscious bias to the fact that if it's not hard, it can't be impactful. And yet I have come to recognize that these small micro shifts, and again, yes, the one at a time until you create safety in the system, because change happens at the speed of safety.
Oh,
And
100%.
so for that, then we can actually implement it, and you will be amazed at the difference. Amazed at a small micro choice can have such a massive impact.
Yeah.
It's so worth it. The breath is the heart of your work.
Hmm.
And, I love about breath work because I think when I was first introduced to breath work, it made me realize I was holding my breath all the time. Like, literally holding my breath all the time
Yeah.
and
And
not
do you
be
know what that does for you?
I can't well, I'm sure the autoimmune and all sorts of other things that
Yeah.
that I've experienced come from not even slowing down long enough to breathe.
Yeah. When we hold our breath, we put ourselves into the sympathetic nervous system. We activate our fight or flight. That's what we do when there's danger.
That
There's
makes
a
sense.
there's a lion or a tiger about to attack
Right,
you. What do?
right.
Right? You hold your breath.
And that's what chaos feels like, the tiger or lion chasing us, so we're
Mm.
holding our breath.
You're holding your breath. Every ding on your phone, every email little notification because you haven't shut them off on your computer.
Mhm,
Every time there's like a letter home from the school or
mhm,
even this holiday season, I know so many women who are being overwhelmed by
mhm.
school themed days and the cookie thing and the gift drive and like we don't have to
And
do
then add on to it the work party and
the work
the
parties.
work potluck and all the other things that work adds onto it for social connection too.
Yeah, so you hold your breath. You
Yes.
hold your breath, and I'm asking you to breathe,
Mhm.
right? To release your breath. And my honestly, if you want like a quick reset, if the one thing that you can commit to, it's like before you check your phone, maybe even before you put your feet on the ground every morning, 3 deep breaths in and out just through your nose. Right? Like, even as we started today, it's like, take that big breath in through your nose. Like, I can feel instant relief
I
with
can
just
feel
1 breath,
instant relief.
and that's just 1.
Mhm.
And if you can start to use your breath, it's free, first of all.
Right. You don't have to go anywhere.
It's with you. You
It's
can
with
do it in
you.
the shower, you can do it while you walk, you can do it while you drive, you can do it during a meeting. I'm doing it on a podcast, right? Like,
Mhm.
you can it is the conscious following of that breath in and following your breath out, and then noticing how your body responds.
Mhm.
Like for me, I feel this like wave of calm just wash over my entire body.
Mhm.
And
And groundedness.
yeah.
Like I'm in my body and I'm in more control of the situation. So if we go back to needing control, I now feel like I'm in control of me. Like I'm
Mm.
in the vessel, I'm operating it, I'm grounded, I can be present
Yeah.
versus I don't know, spinning somewhere out there in the ether. That one breath does that instantly.
Yeah.
And I was going to share with you, Ashley, you'll love this. When I first recognized I was holding my breath all the time and was learning breath work, I actually set my alarm every hour to breathe
Yeah. That's
because I
great.
had to learn the practice of making sure I wasn't holding my breath.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah. It does so much, like, I always, like, joke and say I'm, like, woo adjacent because 'cause I'm not overly woo, and a lot of people attach breathwork to being kinda wooey.
Mhm.
That was actually my resistance to doing it,
Mm.
but there's so much science-backed information around breathwork and blood flow,
Mhm.
your like heart rate, your lung capacity, your immune function, your digestive function, your ability to fall asleep at night. Like there is so much that we have like right here for us by using our breath.
Mm.
And if you can use that one tool to let yourself feel calm, I promise you you're going to have these moments of absolute presence and clarity.
Mm.
So if you struggle with, I don't know what the best next step is, or I don't know how to make a decision, right? A lot of women I talk to really struggle with making decisions. And it will it will help you quiet the clutter so that you know exactly what the decision is.
Mm.
And then you can take that aligned action that's going to support yourself, right? Instead of just doing the pattern or the habits that you typically do,
Mhm.
that moment of clarity helps you know what action step is going to best serve you.
Mhm. Yeah, so powerful. I do want The time
I
flows
know.
so quickly when we're having these beautiful combos. But you have something called the stop method,
Mhm.
and I'm wondering if you could walk our listeners through that before we go.
Quickly. Yes, I will.
Not quickly.
So,
No, we don't have to go quickly, just
okay.
before we go.
So the stop method is first we slow down. That's what S. Slow down,
Yeah.
right? Let yourself just slow down. Take the breath. Right? And then once you've taken that breath, your options are available to you.
Mm,
And then you can proceed.
mm,
So when your boss or your client has a tight deadline that must be due right now, before you fire back the email or before you open your mouth to react, stop, slow down, take a breath, evaluate like what options do you have? You have an option to snap back. You have an option to hold a boundary.
mm,
You have an option to offer, how this can work. And then you have that clarity to proceed.
mhm.
Most of us get a demand, we're overwhelmed, and we just like open our mouths and we're like,
Yeah.
right? We attack because we feel like we're being attacked. The stop method allows you that space to calm down so that you know what's available to you.
Incredible. And that we can do right now so easily, right?
Mhm.
Everyone listening, try to find a moment today to practice the stop once and just notice, how does it feel in your body? How do you react to that? What do you notice? Do you notice that groundedness? Do you notice that ability to feel a little more connected, a little more trusting of self, all of it. So I think that's a beautiful tip Ashley's leaving us with, that we can practice on our own. Again, you don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to do anything except for
Right.
stop. Yeah,
Yeah.
love that.
And I
Um,
promise you the world won't fall apart.
the world will not fall apart. Ashley's promise. Just
I
remember.
promise.
So thank you. You said over and over again, and I know your mantra is just take a breath. So I
Mhm.
think we leave our audience with, please just take a breath. This has saved my life. And so I'm so grateful for the work you do in the world and for this conversation and just giving people that remembrance or knowing for the first time our
I
breath is power. And so, where can people deepen into your world, your coaching or your breathwork offerings? Where do we find Ashley?
Yeah, so I'm on LinkedIn. I spend most of my time though on Instagram.
Mhm.
So if you can connect with me there, it's Ashlee.Livingstone. And I have tons of freebies too. So if it's helpful, maybe I can share with you. I have a 10-minute audio called Take a Breath.
Mm,
And I always like it's like your calm in your back pocket, right? Put it on your phone. You can listen to it in between meetings, listen to it at you start your day or when you close out your day. It is such a simple way to be guided
mhm.
and let yourself build that habit of feeling calm. So that might be a really good opportunity to
Mhm.
learn more and yeah, and this is the work I love. I love helping people avoid burnout because you're all building beautiful lives that you actually want to participate in. So,
Mm. So juicy, and we will put all that in the show notes so
yes.
that you can grab it, and I highly recommend you put Ashley in your back pocket and take the opportunity to listen to that 10 minutes and to add breath into your life and to truly reconnect with yourself. So, thank you, Ashley, for all your beautiful genius and magic that you shared with us today. So grateful to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me. It's always a pleasure.